Hi, in this video I will demonstrate how to optimize and adjust the graphic user interface of the LASX software to remove a lot of options that do not apply to your application. I will then show you how to capture images, add the text box annotations that you like to add, along with the date and time, and save them. It's a pretty simple procedure. I'm going to start by going through the ways to hide some of the tabs and optimize the layout. This is not necessary, but certainly will help. Here we are looking at our LASX software. It's found by launching the icon on the desktop. Once here, upon first use, the settings and the layout are specific to each person's login. This is why it's important to optimize it for each different user. First, we want to go to the Configuration tab and navigate to this Customized UI Layout. Once here, we want to hide a few of these tabs, which are shown across the top, called Process, Quantify, Analysis. We also want to hide the left toolbar. We can also go in our Require window if you have certain options here that show up, such as Illumination, Imaging Wizard. We want to hide those as well. They don't apply to your application. Once we're set with that, we click OK, and we're good to go. Another thing that you may want to change, and this is up to each user, is this box that says Apply Automatically Activate Live Image. By having this checked off, it means when you capture an image, it's automatically going to then show you a live image rather than showing you the captured image. Now, this is just, again, up to your user workflow. Other than that, everything else can be left alone. Going back to the Acquire tab, we now have a cleaner interface, less tabs, no sidebar, and less options on the left. From here, just to review a few things, this here is your Explorer tab. All these icons operate by when you hover over them, they expand, and when you move the mouse away, they go away. You can also click on them and they stay out, or you can pop these out as floating windows. Things like this image settings icon, you may want this, or this tab, you may want this always out, so you can pop this out and move it wherever you want. You can also use this slider here to shrink the icon sizes. It gives you a little bit more space here. You can also even adjust the image so you have a lot more space to move this around. Going through a few things here, the Explorer tab, this is where we pick a location of where we're going to save the image. I recommend going to the C drive, users, finding your desktop, and creating a microscope images folder as I have here on my desktop. You can do that by going to your user's desktop and clicking this create new folder. It's then going to create a new folder for you, and you can even right click in it and rename right here. So again, microscope images or whatever you want to save it to. Once this is set, there's a few things you can do. We can, now that that's set, skipping ahead, clicking acquire, we can have this prompt us to pick a name each time. So here, what I want to do is go into my desktop, microscope images, and I just have a lot of images, but we can name this test, and now we have it saved. So again, now it's sticky. Now when I click capture again, it's going to say, hey, we know where you last saved it, microscope images, and just allows you to then rename the new file. If you wanted to have this set to a fixed file location and therefore automatically save the image, all you do is select the folder you want this to save to, and you click this red icon, Set Acquisition Folder. Now, when I click this, it automatically saves my image to the fixed folder. I can even go one final step further, and here at the acquisition formats, I would highly recommend that you switch this from default as TIFF to JPEG first off, and also you can give it a user-defined image name. So if I know that I'm working on case A sample 1, and I want to just continuously capture images and have it assigned case A sample 1, 02, 03, we can do that here. And to highlight that, we click capture. If I look at my Explorer tree here, I now see that it gave it this name, case A sample 1001. Here's my other images that I saved before. So again, it may be beneficial that you have this just simply prompt you to pick a name each time by unchecking my acquisition folder. And again, now when I click capture, ignore this aspect, it's going to say, okay, now you pick a name and a location, but again, it diverts back to where you last saved the image. Okay. Important, minor but important. If you wanted to see your gallery, you can click this gallery view, and that will show you actually images and images in the folder. That's this gallery icon right here to expand your gallery. Okay. Moving down to image, I already expanded this out. This is my image settings. Now, one thing that you may notice is that this image is frozen. Well, how do I know that? We're looking at a picture of a picture, like has a lot of images, icons here. So this is a picture of a picture, means we're captured, and we simply have a play button here, meaning we can go back to live. Now that we're live, we're going to talk about this image tab. The most important tab that your icon you want to make sure is checked off is this auto exposure. Auto exposure is going to allow the software to compensate for the brightness as you change lenses. You still have the ability to adjust brightness and gain, but keeping auto exposure is very helpful. This histogram, if you're familiar with using a histogram, you can certainly do so. If not, I wouldn't touch it too much because you can certainly adjust the image settings for making it bad. Your color channels, this is nice. You can optimize certain color channels. You can enhance certain color features. You don't want the software to fake anything you see through the eyepieces of the microscope. You can certainly help you optimize the image coloring. White balance is important. So as you adjust the intensity, of the lights, the color temperature changes. It gets more blue as you increase and yellow as you decrease. So you want to make sure you understand how to white balance. It can be done one of two ways. In this case, I don't have a live image. This is just a sample image from Leica. But if I were to click white balance, it's actually going to take into account my whole image. So really what you want to do is move the samples off of the scope, put a white piece of paper underneath there, and then click white balance, and it will balance the white balance. Alternatively, what I recommend is right mouse clicking. That's not left, the standard. It's right mouse click in a white area, draw a box, and when you let go, it gives you this white balance option. Now this is important to know. You don't have to do it every time, but if you see the colors get off, and white balance can help you reset it. Don't worry about the other icons here. They don't apply to your thing. Here's some settings. Again, don't worry about that. It's simply showing you image format, exposure. If we have auto exposure on, we have brightness controls. Color, black and white, you're going to want to leave it in color mode. This camera profile is nice. You can set different parameters and save different features, but again, gets a little bit more in depth. So we can certainly talk about that at a later date. Okay. Next is magnification. Again, this is just a demo. It doesn't have the magnification factors of the microscopes that you guys use, but it should be pre-programmed in to have the magnification there. Okay, now that we went through everything, let's back up and simply say, okay, we launched the software. We're happy with our image. What's our workflow? After working with a few people there at the firearms department, I think we've established a very good workflow that helps you make it very easy for you. So we have pause and we have capture. In order to do what you want to do, I would recommend pausing the image first, then making your annotations, and then capturing the image with annotations all in one. So again, pause the live image, and here on our right hand side is our annotation tools for adding a text box. So the first thing I want to explain is this individual overlays. In order to activate this software how you would like it, we want to click this icon and click this rubber stamp. You'll notice when I do that, this rubber stamp icon shows up here. That's our merge feature. I'll explain that further in a second. We then want to come here to our annotation tool window, and again we can position this anywhere we want. Here's fine, and we can create a text box. I understand that you like to put a text box in here, and you maybe like to put left, right, and scope characteristics. So we can actually save this here as a template. You're all familiar with templating. So how do we do that? We add our text box, we put whatever prefix text we want in here, and when we're satisfied with that, now mind you, you can even adjust things like the size, thickness, color, background of this right here. Okay. When we're happy with, also right here while I'm talking about it, a few things. In order to add text to this text box, you need to be on the text tool. What I mean is if I go to my selection tool so I can move my text box around, I can't type anything in. Again, I have to go to text tool, and now you can see here I can type and I can say sample, whatever you want it to say. Okay. That's a nice important note. Also, I know you like to add the date and time. In order to have the date and time show up, you also need to be in your selection tool. So if you see here, when I go to my text tool, that date and time went away. Just know that if this checkbox mark is here, it still has the date and time shown. You have to go to selection tool, and now it's there. Here, we're happy with this. We like our layout. We can now save this as a template. Well, how do we do this? And keep in mind, you have to only do this once per user. What we do is we want to create a new template, give it a name, and hit OK. We now see this here in our templates. Well, this is still just saved temporarily. This is not saved to the computer. What we want to do is actually go to this load save template to the template library. We then want to bring this from our template list into our library, and now we can save it. And here you can see that this is saving it to my computer. I simply suggest you go to the same microscope images folder that you were at before, and you save your template. Clearly it's showing you saved here. Now we hit OK, and now our template's saved. Let's say we are happy with this image. Maybe we want to add some more text. Sample whatever, we're happy with this, go here. So our again, go to selection tools so our date and time show up. Now what we want to do is click this stamp icon, or sometimes you'll see an image of a camera with a little blue icon, blue stamp embedded in it. Again, if you have a camera connected, you'll see that. I don't have a camera connected, so I'm just showing this icon. When we click this, it's saying, as you can see there, let me show you what that says when you hover over it real quick, create a new image with all the overlays in the viewer. So by clicking this, again, if we have it prompting us to pick a name, we can do that here. We click Save, and now if I look in my Explorer tab here, Preview to Overlay, you'll notice here that this is burned in, even though I have my selection tool selected here. I can't move this text box. It's burned in and merged to the image. That's what I understand you're looking for. Okay, we're happy with that. Now, just to reiterate a few things, I'll go through this process one more time real quick, and you should be happy with the results. So again, let's imagine we launch the software. Here, we're happy with it. If auto exposure is off, you may want to turn that on. Maybe adjust some of your sample settings. Maybe do a white balance. Again, right-click in a white area and click white balance. It's going to do a white balance for you. And we're happy and ready with our image, and we're ready to annotate and capture. So again, we pause the image. Here you can see this now is showing this this icon with the capture with a stamp. That blue icon is part of the stamp. But point is, we want to go pause the image, come over here. I'm just pointing out here, I have my scale bar shown. I can unshow my scale bar. Again, show or hide individual overlays, and I uncheck my scale bar icon. Now it's gone. I know sometimes you want that, or most times you don't want that, but just again, another piece of information. So again, we have our image, we're happy with it, we pause the image, we come over here, we have our annotation tools, and this time we already have our template made. So moving forward, all you have to do is expand this templates, and there's a little shortcut. Now all you have to do is right click on this icon, and here's my test template. By simply selecting that, you'll notice that my template appears. Again, if we wanted to add text to it, you have to select the text tool, and now we can add text to this text box. Date and time, I believe, does not appear as a stick with the template, so that may have to be added each time. But at least, again, you have the template here. Now, again, you can draw a text box each time, but this template allows you to save some time by having it preset. Now, again, once we're happy, we click Create New Image with all the images on the overlay. Here again, we're giving another image name. We click Save, and we're good to go. I used the same file name by accident, so that's what that error was. But now, again, we have our captured image with our scale, our annotations merged into the image. Okay. That's really the basic workflow of the system. You can leave this icon, this annotation toolbox up as well. You can hide it if you want by just closing the X and bringing it back out by going to annotation tools. Other icons here, this is split screen, so you can actually have a live image versus a captured image. So I can come here and I can pull up my captured image. Here's my capture versus live. It may not benefit from you because you're already looking at a split screen because you're looking at forensic comparison scopes, but that's what that does. This here is our magnifying glass. Here we're zoomed in. We can scroll with my mouse wheel and zoom in or out. But this nice fit image to window centers me back and zooms in. Other icons are a bit irrelevant here. so I'll skip over those, and that pretty much covers it. Again, this is a guide video. This is Michael Miller speaking from iMiller. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. I know it's new software, similar in some fashions but different in others, and I understand your work is very important, and I want to be here to help you. I always say I can't help you if I don't know you need help, so again, please do not be afraid to call with any questions. Thank you very much. I guess I'll give you the number, 215-925-2285. My cell phone, please always call my cell phone if you need, 267-566-5430. My email is mike@imillermicroscopes.com, and anyone can get in touch with us. Thank you again for watching, and please enjoy.